Hello everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls. I'm CoolKvothe, and this is the last episode of the week, and we have a good one for you here. In the last episode, we took on the Duke's Archives and broke out of prison, fought a bunch of squid-like enemies, and managed to make our way to this bonfire that we are standing at now, and where I am currently restoring my humanity and kindling. You're going to notice that there's not much left of the Duke's Archives from here on out. We're going to head into a new area called the Crystal Cave, and then fight the boss of the area, Seath the Scaleless, which should be a pretty good time. So, we'll see what happens. We left off here, and I purposefully didn't explore these rooms so I could show you in this video what was inside them. In this one, there's just a lone treasure chest, which I believe holds, let's see, blue titanite chunk. So, good upgrade weapon. A lot of these new areas, the ones that you get to after you get the Lord Vessel, they have a lot of the upgrade stones that you don't see earlier in the game. The Channeler set, which is like those little dancing douchebags that you see earlier in the game, we can now dress up as one of them if we decide to. The Archive Tower Giant Cell Key, and I will show you where that goes in just a second. That is the cell behind the squid monsters that, from the earlier part of the game. And a Mimic, which I forgot to even check for, but luckily I've upgraded my vitality enough that I survived it. So I'll pop a few Estises here, and we will take care of him to see what he's holding on to. And the Zweehänder +2, Lightning Zweehänder, I mean, is so OP at this point that I can kill this guy in 3 hits, doing like 400 damage a hit almost. And I actually get really lucky here, because you'll notice that I actually get the Symbol of Avarice. The guy's holding an enchanted falchion, which is basically a normal falchion with enchantment +1 on it. That's kind of a throwback to Demon Souls, where one of the best weapons you can get early in the game is the enchanted falchion +1. And I'm not really sure what good it does you here at this point, but anyway, we'll move on from that, and we will show you where this cell, what that key that we got just goes to, and it goes to the cell behind the squid monsters. And lo and behold, we run across a familiar face, or at least a familiar hat, since you can't actually see his face.
Thank you very much. I'm saved. That makes twice. I must be sure to repay you. I will visit the archives. If I discover any new spells, I shall share them with you. Prepare to be impressed by the onward march of sorcery.
This is Big Hat Logan, and you really can only find him if you've already saved him in Sen's Fortress. It's the only time you can find him here. After the second time you save him, he has a whole new plethora of spells, mostly crystal, some homing soul mass, stuff like that, crystal magic weapon that you can get. So he's pretty useful, and you just got to keep saving him because he keeps getting locked up somehow. And then if you come to the back, you'll find a Firekeeper soul, which is the last free one that we can get before you have to actually kill Firekeepers to get their souls. So Estus Blast +4 is really the highest you can get in the game without disabling some bonfires. So anyway, I actually died in one of the runs through here trying to show you some stuff, so I'm gonna become human again, and that's because the boss of this area, Seath the Scaleless, can curse you. That's one of the most annoying things in the game, is curse, because it halves your HP when you die. And so I need as much curse resistance as possible. The black iron set I'm currently wearing has the most curse resistance of any armor set that I own. So it's kind of cool. It gives me an excuse to look like Iron Tarkus while I kill this guy. And I'm human right now, so I have more curse resistance. And, hopefully that'll come to good use. Now, in typical Dark Souls fashion, they position a douchebag hollow right below the staircase. But if you know where he is, you can jump down and attack him from behind without him noticing. And then you get some prism stones out of the treasure chest here, and that's actually, it's kind of, I guess a warning as to what the area coming up next, which is by far the most interesting area I've seen in the game, creatively, is what it has in store for you. So we'll see that in just a second. Now, when you first walk out here, you're just basically in a little forest area kind of thing. And there are a bunch of crystal golems, and we're going to take a bunch of them out. So you guys get to see how you fight them. If you went to the basin, the darker basin, it's the same exact tactic. Just circle around them, and get a few swings in from behind, and just try to avoid their attacks. If you're good and you have a really strong weapon like I do, you can actually stagger them on the second two-handed hit. And so I actually utilize that a lot on these crystal golems, because you circle around them, you can have them miss one attack on you. You get 2 hits in, and then they're staggered, and you hit them with the 3rd time, and they die. So you're going to see me utilize that a lot. This is probably the more dangerous part, because it's tough to pull one of these guys without pulling the other. And I'm kind of running low on arrows, so it's kind of going to be a difficult scenario in general. But I'm going to have to use one here, or at least try. It looks like I might already have these guys coming towards me, though. Oh, one of them got stuck. Alright, that's a lucky break for me. Alright, big guy. See, their attacks are fairly easy to dodge. I shouldn't have gone for the R2. I should have just gone for the R1. That was a mistake. But I managed to kill this guy, and now I only have one more to deal with. And then after that, we can head into the Crystal Cave. And there's a stagger, and there's a death. Fairly useful tactic. And these guys yield a decent amount of souls per hit, so this is another good farming area if you get the hang of these guys. 1,200 souls per golem is not too bad, and they're pretty close to a bonfire, so you get a bunch of homeward bones. You can keep going back and forth pretty quick. And we are in the Crystal Cave, and this place is fairly treacherous, because one false step and you will fall off and die. There's no ledges underneath. There's no chance that you might not die. If you fall off, you will die. And a lot of these ledges are slippery, and these golems can knock you off, which is why the stagger technique is extremely useful here, because you do not want to get hit by these guys, because you will slide on the ice or crystal or whatever it is. Alright, so you want to head across this little bridge here, and you head down the path. There's basically only one path you can go to at this point. And you're going to notice like a little sign up there, and it just seems to be floating in the middle of nowhere. That's because there are a lot of invisible passages in the Crystal Caves, and that is what makes this place so awesome. The snow that's falling will actually break. You'll see it break and scatter on the crystal ledges, and that is how you know where the ledges are. Like, so if you run down here, like, sometimes people are nice, and you'll notice that they put like little soapstone signs down, and that's basically where the ledge is. You can actually just run straight across, but you can actually see the snow falling on the ledge, so that's how you know where the crystal ledge is, and how to run across it. So that's the gimmick of this area, and the prism stones are useful because you can figure out where the ledges are using a prism stone. Alright, so this is one of the tougher parts, but stagger technique does apply here. This guy just has more HP than normal. I don't know, just go to town on him. Once you kill him, he does not respawn. So as long as you get this guy down, you should be all set. Now you can actually run across. There's another ledge that leads over to the other bridge over there. But I'm not going to show you that because it doesn't actually, it's not moving forward in the level. It's just where you would think you'd have to go, but you actually have to come up here in order to continue. And you'll notice some nice guy also put summon signs down here, or not summon signs, soapstone signs. And you actually have to run across here. And someone was kind enough to show, the other side too. So that's exactly where you have to run to. And you can check for the snow if you need to. You'll notice on the sides and the walls you will see moonlight butterflies. They are the same moonlight butterflies that we fought as a mini-boss, or a boss, or whatever you want to call it, in the Darkroot Garden. They don't yield as, they don't quite yield as much anymore. They're not quite as good, but you can kill them if you want to. You don't get their, the soul of moonlight butterfly anymore. But, them are the breaks. Now, Seath is actually at the end of this hallway, but I make a little bit of a mistake here. I figure that, I know Seath is down there. There's probably going to be a fog wall. I can just run right through these asshole clams here, because they are very difficult to beat. They're kind of a pain in the ass, and you really just have to wait and pull one at a time and wait for them to attack and then attack them once, or otherwise they'll kill you pretty quick. So I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to run right through. The fog wall will block these guys out, no problem. What I didn't anticipate was the fact that there actually wasn't a fog wall before Seath. So they're going to attack me in the middle of this boss fight, but what can you do? So when you run in here and you run up towards this light and you get the Seath cutscene. Here comes the dickhead that killed you once before. And this boss actually isn't that hard if you're not trying to get his the sword that you can get from cutting off his tail. I actually try quite a bit to get it, and it ends up making this boss fight seem a lot more difficult than it is. So anyway, when you start off, the usual way is to get him to attack his own crystal. And now you're noticing that I'm dodging all these clams, and I just get a little lucky in the fact that his smashes attack actually kills the clam before me. So, you know, I make out like a bandit, but normally that probably would have killed you if you let a bunch of monsters into the boss fight. Alright, so now it's just me and Seath, and now that you've broken that little crystal strand, he is vulnerable. That's the reason we couldn't fight him before. That little crystal strand that I was standing next to that I had Seath bridge is his immortality. As long as that, you know, as long as that's intact, you can't hurt Seath. And since we fought Seath in a totally different room, it made it impossible to kill him. Now, I got a little unlucky here for what it's worth. Usually he doesn't start doing that little pound attack, which is by far his most dangerous attack, because it can kill you in like one hit if you hit to the right. He usually doesn't do that unless you're directly behind him, but he started doing it when I was to the side of him. What you want him to do is do his curse crystals in front of him, and then run around to his back to try to cut his tail. It's a very difficult thing to do, though. They don't make it very easy in this game. You gotta cut it at just the right point. It's very easy to miss, and it's very easy to get hit by his tail and killed, like I just did, with one misstep. And I'm actually going to try to cut his tail off yet again, but I end up giving up because it's just not worth it. This is a Let's Play. I already have it on my other characters, so I'm probably going to be using this playthrough anyway, so, you know, no point. So anyway, when you first walk in after dying, if you have to beat this guy again, just run right around him. He usually doesn't attack you, and run right to the crystal strand. You can hit it if you want, which will make him vulnerable, but I still recommend the you know, the let him attack it himself strategy. So you just wait for him to slowly saunter over, looking all menacing. And this is definitely a cooler dragon boss fight than the Gaping Dragon, I have to say. So anyway, once he leans back like that, that's when he hits himself. And when he hits the strand himself, he will stun himself, and it gives you a good couple chances to get a few strokes in here. I think you need at least 3 with like the sword that I have right now at the exact right point, and I don't manage to get it. And it's very easy to get killed doing it. And since I'm already low on Estus, because I actually used some fighting the clams on the way here, I end up giving up on the strategy because I realize I'll probably die. Alright, so this is the first time I can't even, you know, I almost get cursed, but so this is actually, interestingly enough, the hardest time I've ever had to fight Seath. Usually I kill him a lot easier than I do here. I usually have Kellogg's Fury Sword, so I'm using the Dex character, and that does a lot of damage and can attack a little faster than my Zui. So it's a little bit different than I'm used to. Plus, for some reason, I end up behind him a lot here. I mean, in front of him a lot here, which means that I get a lot of the crystal action, a lot more than I thought I would. So anyway, basically the strategy is to actually kill this guy. Is to stand about where I am right now, not... This is the second time I almost get cursed, and this is why I'm really happy that I wore all the curse-resistant armor. And I'm like surrounded by curse crystals right now. Is to run over to one of his legs. I usually do the right side, and then just kind of run up, like, you know, run into it. And I'm still trying to get his tail. You just kind of run into it, and after a goodly amount of time, you know, he will do his like his curse attack, and then you can get a swipe or two in at the side on those side tails. The tail in the back, try not to go for it. It's not a good idea unless you're trying to get the sword. But the one on the side, you just kind of stay sort of in front of him, sort of at the side tail like I am right now, and just keep attacking him, and you should be able to kill this guy without too much trouble. Eventually, as I said, I give up on this entire enterprise. I've hit the guy like 5 times in the tail, still haven't killed him. I apparently don't really remember the correct location that you have to hit to get like the best effect. So I'm just gonna give up at this point. I'm down to 3 Estus. It's gonna come down pretty close here, and I just want to kill the guy on camera. So time to get it done. I almost get cursed yet again. And I almost get crushed yet again. I'm not having too much luck here on Seath. He's kind of acting like an asshole. Alright, so let's just finish this guy off. And miss. And I almost get cursed. I think this is the last time. I'm pretty damn close. Look how close I was. Holy crap. I don't think I even realized how close I was when I was actually fighting him. I was just trying to get out. So if that filled up all the way, I would have been dead and had a half HP meter and been a very angry dude. So I'm just happy that didn't happen. So he's down to pretty much almost no HP, and it's just about ready to kill him. And he doesn't really change his moves up as the fight progresses. You just kind of stay near his tail, you use the curse thing, you gotta keep shots in. He's almost dead now. One more hit to do it. So I'm just gonna run right up to him. Boom! And that's it. I wasn't 100% sure he was dead yet, so I was still swinging, but he was. Well, what is it? Bequeathed Lord Soul Shard. We just got that, so that's one more shard, or the first shard that we're going to get for the Lord Soul, for that Lord Vessel. That's 1 of 4. We still have Mulanda Ruins, Catacombs, and the Lost Izalith from here on out. But, you know, we have a good start into it. And I think that is just about, you know, that's just about as good as you can do against Seath when you're trying to get his tail. If you just try to kill him straight up, you can just kind of hug the side tails and kill him a lot faster than I did. But you know, I really kind of wanted the sword. It looks pretty cool, even though I don't even think I can use it. It's a very cool looking sword, if nothing else, and definitely I like it at the very least. I mean, say what you will, but I am a big fan of the, I forget what it's even called, but it's a pretty sweet sword. But it's like an intelligence-based sword, which I can't even like use, so you know, what can you do? So anyway, that's just about gonna do it for this episode of Let's Play Dark Souls. I had a good time, and we'll be back next week for, you know, whatever area I decide to pursue next. So I will see you guys then. Later.